Hello and welcome to Monday Mindfulness. Today we're going to be looking at a variation on a technique that we've done a fair bit of through these Monday Mindfulness practices, and it's a specific body part awareness, and we've done anchoring in the fingers, in the tip of the nose, in the breath, in specific areas of the body, and this is another walking example of that kind of practice. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to focus on a particular part of the body, and it might be the core, like the lower abs, and then take a period in our day where we might set a timer for 10 minutes where we choose to just focus on that area of the stomach while we go about our daily tasks. And what I like to do is I like to have a 10-minute practice period, but I set the timer for 5 minutes so I can go about doing things, and if I get distracted or if I forget that I'm actually holding a practice through what I'm doing in my regular day, I can just see the alarm go off. So my alarm goes off and it says, okay, 5 minutes is up. Then I click on another 5 minutes and allow myself to extend the practice. So that just reminds me midway through that, okay, I'm doing a dynamic practice. Am I still with the practice? So you can use a timer in that way. I also love to take this practice out onto the street and, for example, walk while I'm feeling the effect of the walking and my stability on my abs, and just being really aware of that. And it's interesting to watch the digestion as well. So you might wrap this practice around some mindful eating. So you might do a complete mindful eating process where you do some cooking, then you do the mindful eating, and then you might just go back into your regular day, but be really aware of what's happening in your digestive system and just keeping the finger on the pulse of that. And that's what this kind of practice is like. It's still flowing with your day and going about things, but just anchoring in with a gentle, really subtle finger on the pulse of a particular area of your body. And one of my favorite places to focus on for this is the feet. So I love to walk and feel my feet, just to use it as an anchor to the moment, and then the richness of everything else can open up. And I also love to focus on my core, especially my lower back, so that I can feel my structure and the stability of the body as I'm walking. And another great one is the nose. It's always with you. It's a fantastic anchor. It's always moving. And that's another fantastic way to bring awareness to a particular area of your body. So you can do this in any way that you choose. These three are my favorite anchor points, or the ones that I use the most. And you can choose an anchor point that works for you. If you really feel like you're slouching a bit and you want to work on your posture, you might choose an anchor point in the back of the spine there, just between the shoulder blades. You might choose the shoulders as an anchor, or even the top of the neck. Just any place where you can check in and see if your alignment is where you want it to be. And then the longer you spend in this process of focusing on these things, and the longer you practice this, the more natural it tends to become. So you can realize some very interesting things going on when you're doing this practice, but you can also build more coordination and stability as well. I feel when I'm working on my core, I tend to keep it engaged more, and I'm more mindful of how I'm using it, because sometimes I might be neglecting it, like letting it slip and get soft and potentially being more open to injuries and things. So I'm really, really helping to build a stronger body in some of these practices as well. So you can adapt it to suit whatever fits with you. Another one you could do is just being mindful of a pen in your hand, if that's something that you're doing a fair bit. And also, if you're getting RSI or anything, or you're actually finding sitting positions challenging in the office, you can do this kind of thing to be really aware of the area that's giving you trouble. Also opening to any potential sources that might not be that area, but you can really catch things early by doing this kind of practice. So one example that I want to give you is just holding what they call in India a mudra. And right now I'm feeling like going with a Jupiter finger here. So I'm just going to straighten out the rest of my hand. Notice how that feels. It feels a little uncoordinated and kind of difficult through these two fingers. It feels a little bit off strength line in them two fingers. This finger feels strong, the middle finger, and the other one, I feel pretty coordinated with this one. So that's just an example of these kind of awareness check-ins that you can have with your body. So I'm now aware of all of the dynamics that are going on with this hand. There's a little bit of pressure in the middle there. And what I could do is, as I'm talking to you now, or as I'm doing something else, or I might be sitting in the garden, I can keep a gentle finger on the pulse of this, and being able to hold an awareness on something while you're doing other things is a really useful habit to have. So right now I'm holding this. You can hold this as well while you're listening to this, noticing if any thoughts are coming up, if you're planning a to-do list, if there's something going on around you, while still just having a subtle awareness of any changes in sensation in the hand. And right now it's starting to feel a little bit warmer, which is interesting. Yeah, it's almost like it's working a little bit in the center of the palm. There's some muscles in there that are, yeah, especially along the ridge of the thumb there, it's working a little bit. So this is one example, but I could just as easily bring my awareness to this shoulder and just be aware of that. So I could, if I've got, a tendency to do something that's not really serving me with this shoulder, I can just bring my awareness to that while I'm going about other things. And it can just help me to open up my awareness, keep my ability of staying with something in presence, and also keeping our ability to diversify our focus, because some of the mindfulness techniques that we do are focused individually on something, some of them diversify. And while I'm speaking to you, I'm feeling my smile, I'm feeling my heart open, and I'm also feeling it's starting to burn a little bit in this hand. So it's just interesting to stay open to all of that, and just being able to and it comes with practice, being able to drink in all of these experiences at once, and being able to honor different parts of us, especially if things are becoming a priority. Like, for example, I'm finding, especially until I get into some really good physical shape, I really need to honor my core and make sure that my posture and my alignment and the way I'm walking and stuff, I feel like it's important to really strengthen and honor the core through that, because it's not as strong as it feels like it usually is, and yeah, it's something that I respect this body. It's the vehicle that I've got right now, and I like to take care of it. Repairs can be challenging. So yeah, this is the practice, being able to stay with awareness in a particular area of the body. You might do this with even a PC muscle exercise. I'm just feeling now would be really useful. Like, I've been talking about the core, and one of the really great areas of the core that I love to work on, especially in yoga and things, is the PC muscle. So being able to squeeze the anus, squeeze the internal muscles along that core. Obviously honoring, you want to be able to lift up and in when you're squeezing the anus, because you can have complications if you don't do it right. But yeah, you really want to. It's a useful muscle to be strong, and it's an important part of the whole course. So yeah, that's another area where you might decide to do some exercises with, and being able to hold that while you're typing away or while you're doing something else. And I'm not saying distract your attention from anything. I'm just saying this is something that you can practice for 10 minutes or 15 minutes to help you raise general awareness. So let me know how you go with that one. It's kind of abstract. It involves some homework. So I'm interested to hear how your process has gone with it, and also if there's any areas that I didn't think of that you're finding it useful in. So have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you on the next Monday Mindfulness. Aho.